Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch the videos. I appreciate the continued support. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss in this video today. So before we dive into these topics, do me a big favor, be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and show it your support. And if you are new here to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. I just want to take a few seconds before diving into the first topic to say that not only did I beat Sifu recently, but I actually ended up getting the platinum for it. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to brag about it just a little bit because I think that this is the platinum that I am most proud of, mainly because when I went into this game and I looked at what was necessary to actually obtain the platinum, I thought to myself, there's no way this is going to happen. I just don't think I'm skilled enough to actually achieve it, but I persisted and I honestly did not expect to get it this soon, let alone at all. So just wanted to take a second to let you know about that. If you've gotten the platinum for Sifu, let me know down in the comments below. But the first topic we're talking about here has to do with Shuhei Yoshida taking to Twitter and seemingly teasing something. And I've seen quite a few people discuss this, and there are essentially two different takes here, and I'll let you know what they are. But this is reading from Game Rant, where they say the Souls-like genre has been closely associated with Sony and PlayStation for many years. Demon Souls and Bloodborne, regarded by many as the best Souls games, are still only available on PlayStation consoles despite the rumors of a PC release. The PlayStation versions of the Neo franchise are also published by Sony, and they were only released on PC after a set period. Shuhei Yoshida, head of independent development at Sony Interactive Entertainment, is known for his love of the Souls-like genre. He announced both Bloodborne and Demon Souls Remake at E3 2014 and PlayStation Showcase 2020 respectively. Now it looks like Shuhei Yoshida is playing an unreleased Souls-like game, and fans are speculating about what it could be. Shuhei Yoshida recently tweeted a list of the last 5 games he played. It includes the recently released Horizon Forbidden West, Genshin Impact, and Sifu. The bottom 2 games are only listed as, quote, unreleased puzzle action and unreleased Souls-like, end quote. At first glance, many people probably assumed the final game to be Elden Ring, which comes out in less than a week, but Yoshida then clarified that the unreleased Souls-like is not Elden Ring. Some fans in the replies are trying to guess the names of the final 2 games, while others are sharing their own lists. A lot of names are being thrown around, including Stranger of Paradise and a supposed remaster of Bloodborne. Other fans are asking about his experience with Sifu and Genshin Impact. Now, something we do have to acknowledge here is Herman Hulst actually responded to what Shuhei Yoshida said here. And if Herman didn't respond to this, I honestly wouldn't think much of it. But it's not just what Herman said in response, but it's also what Shuhei Yoshida said to Herman as a reply. So Herman Hulst says, "Such a tease." And I automatically think, well, that's a little strange. You know, most people are assuming that Shuhei is talking about a small indie Souls-like, and so Herman Hulst would have no reason to respond with something like this, especially because Herman Hulst, being the head of PlayStation Studios, he's not the most active person on Twitter, definitely not anywhere near as active as Shuhei Yoshida. So naturally, people are going to read a little bit more into some of the things he's saying on Twitter, and they're going to be paying a little bit closer attention. Shuhei Yoshida responds by saying, "I did not mean to," basically saying, "I did not mean to tease anything." Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I read this exchange between Herman Hulst and Shuhei Yoshida, an indie Souls-like is the last thing that comes to my mind. I do not believe for a second that that is what they are referring to, that that's what they're talking about. To me, it seems pretty clear and pretty obvious that they are obviously alluding to something bigger, something that is not necessarily Elden Ring, because Yoshida lets us know that's not what he's talking about, but maybe something like, I don't know, Bloodborne related. Again, I know that seems like a bit of a leap and a reach, but I need you guys to understand that if you look at this exchange, it's just not normal. Surely Herman Hulst is aware of what's going to happen when he responds to Shuhei Yoshida with a tweet like this. People are not just going to be like, oh, Herman's obviously talking about Salt and Sacrifice. No, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to assume, holy crap, Herman Hulst just confirmed Bloodborne 2. Now, I think that that's jumping, to a conclusion, obviously, but it definitely comes off to me as they are hinting at something. Now, I just want to say that there have been a bunch of rumors for the past, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks at this point that Sony is going to be doing some type of an event in March. We still don't know if that's actually happening or not. But what I will say is that if Sony is doing a big event in March or sometime soon, then suddenly these tweets and these interactions, definitely look way more suspect than they otherwise would. So we're going to want to pay attention to this and see if anything comes of it, but that's where we're going to leave it for now. You guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. We're moving on to the next topic, which talks about Horizon Forbidden West. First, I want you guys to let me know, for those of you who have started playing Horizon Forbidden West, what are your thoughts on it so far? What has your experience been like? Let me know down below in the comments. But there was an interview that was done over at Engadget where they were talking to both the director and the technical director of Horizon Forbidden West, and they revealed how they kind of had to make some adjustments with the loading screen tips on the PS5 because the PS5's SSD was just too fast. So it says here, reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, in Horizon Zero Dawn, we called it fast travel, but it could take maybe a minute to actually load. This is what the director of Forbidden West is saying. With the PS5, it's maybe 4 or 5 seconds. It loads so quickly that players can't even read the hints. We had to add a very simple feature where it hangs on the loading screen for enough time so you can actually read at least one hint while it loads. If you don't care about loading screen tips, you can turn the feature off via the settings menu as spotted by IGN. The option you need to look for is standby screen mode, and there you go. You won't have to keep pressing X. And it says, as for why Guerrilla Games bothered to revamp loading screen tips, apparently the developer noticed when playtesting Horizon Forbidden West that players were actually relying on them. Elsewhere, Guerrilla Games sang the SSD's praises, arguing that it has been a lifesaver for developers. You don't realize how easily games are bottlenecked. This is what the technical director is saying. If you run a PC game on a very fast SSD, it doesn't automatically load in like 7 seconds. There's so much work we had to do. So yeah, I thought that this was definitely worth highlighting because, well, first of all, I didn't realize that you could actually turn this off on the PS5 version if you just want that instant loading. But it just goes to show, man, that the PS5's SSD is just simply on another level. And it's not just because of the sheer speed of the SSD itself, it's how it works in conjunction with the rest of the PlayStation 5. And as he mentions here, there are 0 bottlenecks, and that is the difference maker. But still talking about Horizon Forbidden West, we have some pretty good news here that I think a lot of people will be happy to hear. Horizon Forbidden West director reveals the game was delayed specifically to avoid crunch. So Matthias de Jong, the director behind Horizon Forbidden West, has revealed that Guerrilla Games delayed the PS4 and PS5 sequel from 2021 to early 2022 in order to avoid crunch. He says that happens very rarely with us. We are aware of the disadvantages of crunching, so we take this into account a lot in our planning. Of course, those who are willing to continue working on holidays are allowed to, but there's always a very clear position from the company that you don't have to. Forbidden West might have been released at the end of last year, but then we might have had to work overtime. People should be able to relax and take vacation and to be with family and friends. That also played a part in the decision to release the game now. And, I understand what he's saying here, because even though crunch is kind of a divisive thing, there are some people who see crunch potentially as a good thing because like this is how you get the best from a studio. But in this case, waiting just a few months to get a finished, polished product and knowing that it's not coming at the expense potentially of the developers, health, physically or mental well-being, I would obviously prefer that. And I think that pretty much everybody listening to this would prefer that as well. And so, I think that this is worth highlighting as well, because there apparently, have been some issues with some of Sony studios in the past when it comes to unhealthy forms of crunch and how it was, negatively affecting the development teams. And so it seems that, with the way PlayStation operates these days, that's just not a thing. They will, obviously prioritize the health of the developers, which is definitely a good thing. But the final topic of the video talks about God of War Ragnarok. specifically how, according to a very reliable insider, it's not going to be delayed out of 2022 and it is still coming this year, which to me is just insane to think about now that we're diving into Horizon Forbidden West. It is just crazy to think that at some point later this year, we're also going to be diving into God of War Ragnarok. I would have never expected to be playing both of these games in the same year. And so this comes from Reddit Gaming Leaks and Rumors, where one user asked the question, will God of War Ragnarok still be coming in 2022? And obviously he wasn't expecting to get an answer from somebody who would potentially be in the know. He was, I think, just trying to gauge what the community thinks. But Jason Schreier did chime in by simply saying, nope, essentially letting him know that it's not being delayed out of 2022. It's still coming out this year. And that's all he said. So some people are thinking maybe it's just his opinion, but I highly doubt that. I don't think Jason Schreier would have said that if it was simply just his opinion. And he's somebody who, if God of War Ragnarok was, being planned for 2023, he would likely catch wind of it and we would get reports of it. But as of right now, it seems like everything is on track. Not only is, Sony themselves pretty much still reaffirming that, yeah, God of War is coming out this year, but even, when it comes to insiders or reliable insiders, they, somebody like Jason Schreier, they're saying, yeah, it's still coming out this year. And I think that this is good news because there are quite a few people who are still, I think, somewhat convinced that this game actually will slip to 2023, but I'm not convinced at all. I'm 100% convinced that God of War will drop this year, which is, as I said, extremely exciting. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.